G'day! It's not Stu from UAVfutures here.
Get over it, Trevor! Oh, I better get the questions.
Oh god, you gotta start again. G'day! Stu here from UAVfutures, and today, well, we're back. It's Sunday. That means it's the question and answer video. We're back with Grumpy Trev, who, you know, what's going on, Grumpy Trev?
Not much, I'm just here to answer some questions.
Alright, so anyway, what this is the Sunday question and answer video, and if you're new to the channel, drop some comments down below, drop some questions about all things FPV, all things flying, because in these episodes we answer back to you guys in the community. It's some of our favourite videos to do, and you can also go into the chance to win some stuff, so by putting a comment or a question down below, if we pick it out at the end of the week, you know, or the end of the episode, you guys can actually win some really cool stuff. So massive shout out this week to Banggood, because they really came up and they provided an awesome prize. I'll put their link below. It's their anniversary sale. They've got some really cool stuff, so definitely go and check that out. The link's down below. But they actually provided us with, so the winner of this episode, you're going to get a Wizard X220.
A run cam.
A run cam Swift 2. You get a radio and you also get a backpack. I'll flash a picture on the screen anyway, but you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff, so it's pretty much like, they let me pick the prize for you guys, so it's pretty much, so massive shout out to Banggood. It should be everything that you sort of need to get up and fly, minus a battery and a charger and some goggles, but still, yeah, pretty awesome. I want to win it. So yeah, pretty good prize there. So definitely drop some comments down below for next week or the next episode, because that's how you guys go into the draw to win them. Anyway, what we should do, let's jump straight in and answer some of your guys' questions about all things FPV. I've got all the questions on my phone. So this one's from Ben Pato 10. Question: Hey Stu, what are some common myths or misconceptions that people new to the hobby should be aware of? Do you want to go first, Trev, or you want me to go first?
I reckon probably one I look at is most people think they can buy a drone, especially the ones we're racing now, buy it and fly it. Yeah, right, buy it and crash it. That's what you're going to do. They think you can fly them straight out of the box. If you've never flown one before, that's not going to be the case. You're going to have to take your time with it and learn how to fly it. So that's one of mine.
If you were just getting in, what would you say? Like, what advice would you have? You know, let's pretend you've just got a drone for your birthday or something. What would you say? How would I get those skills?
Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah?
And try and find someone who's already flying one, because when you first get one, break more than what you fly.
I would say jump on the sim, because I think the sim.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I think sims are fantastic for first-time pilots. I would say a misconception that people are aware of: flight times. Like, people don't realise how long these drones actually fly for. When you're going hell for leather and really smashing those laps and flying really fast, some of your flights are between like 2 and 3 minutes. You know, 2 and 5 minutes is probably the average. 5 minutes if you're really just floating around, not doing very much, and 2 minutes if you're, you know, or less if you're really going for it and pushing your battery really hard. So don't be expecting really long flight times unless you have a big battery on there and efficient quad. And if you do, you know, if you're really going after those flight times, you're not going to be getting the performance of a racer. Because I know I get a lot of comments and people saying, Stuart, I really want a fast, efficient, really good quad, but how can I make it fly for like 15 minutes and that sort of stuff? And it's just not possible. These racers, you know, these ones on the wall, you're looking at like a 2-3 minute flight time.
Yeah, for sure.
Rightio, moving on. So this one's from Neil Vanton. I should apologise to you for all the names, because I'm sure I'm going to butcher them. But your question is, Stu, will UAVfutures ever become a team, something like the flight test team? Well, I don't know. Where do you see UAVfutures going?
We're already there. Well, they're really there, something like us.
Well, yeah, they're around for a lot longer. I think Flight Test is a massive inspiration for me. And, you know, that's what this channel's all about. It's all about flying with mates. It's all about having fun. And yeah, I definitely think we are a team. Like, we've got, you know, I couldn't do this show without you.
Crash Test Dummy.
Crash Test Cal.
Yeah.
So Cal's just joined us as well. And I know just getting out, flying with your mates, you know, I want to always do things with FPV, but it's so much better with your mates. So yeah, definitely, I feel like we're a team when we go out all the time.
Oh yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I live for the weekend.
I think you guys can see that you know, we have a lot of fun what we do, and otherwise we wouldn't do it.
I think, yeah, and it'd be a totally different channel too if it was like just reviews or dry things on the bench or anything like that. My favourite part is getting out, seeing what you think about it, getting Crash Test Cal behind Speed Gun Sally, because you know, he's probably the most expendable one at the moment. We'll get him some insurance or something.
Look at that picture you got on the phone.
Get out. Alright, moving on. Trevor's getting distracted. What's more important, a good expensive FPV goggle or a good expensive transmitter?
FPV goggle, absolutely, hands down.
Yep.
You can get a cheap transmitter for 20-30 bucks that'll probably do the job, but you're not going to get the experience of FPV without a good set of goggles. Anytime I would go for goggles, absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Pretty straightforward question, that one, very easy to answer. If you've only got the money and, you know, for one upgrade, getting a good pair of goggles is the best investment that you can make. Because I know people that still fly around with those i6 radios or whatever. You know, they still fly with them, but they've got the good expensive goggles. They really like their radio and they're used to that. But you should be investing, either go really cheap on a pair of goggles, so your first ones, or if you're going to get a good pair, I'd say that's where your best upgrade's going to come from, and definitely get something where you need to put a bit of money into it to get the best experience.
Yeah, well, the house is on fire. First thing you're going to save is their goggles.
Yeah, that's true.
Then go back for their wife.
I'm going to save my family, but then I'll come back and then I'll get my goggles. Alright, moving on. So, Helpy 2007. G'day, folks. I'm really a noob at this, but I've dove in head first and I'm loving it. So a question, I'm having trouble getting used to being in the goggles. I feel nervous due to feeling tunneled. Any suggestions on getting more comfortable with this? Thanks and keep up the fantastic channel, Jeff. So how did you feel when you first started flying, Trev? Pretty
nervous. It takes a little while to get used to them, I guess, but you do get used to them. It's just an eye thing, I guess, or a mind thing. Mind's tricking you. The eyes are tricking your mind virtually when you've got goggles on, and I think the more you try it, the better it gets. Spend more time doing it. I think you'll find you'll overcome that.
Yeah, I know my very first flight, when I went out the back and I pulled the goggles down, I was ready to go, try my first ever FPV flight. I was totally freaked out. I did like one battery and then I went inside. My heart was racing. It was like adrenaline packed, but I also felt nervous as well. You're worried about crashing. I was worried about hitting other people even though no one was around. And it was a real surreal experience. So I think the more I do it, I felt stressed all the time, and I had to sort of convince myself, like, look, it's good weather. I should go for a fly, and I'd slowly pack my bag. You know, nowadays I'm like rushing out the door to go and fly. But I'd be slowly packing my bag. I got up there and I'd fly around, and it was stressful. But what I want to tell you guys, it will get better. So the more you do it, just push through that first little barrier, and eventually something will click where you're not stressed about flying anymore. It's more, you can't wait to do it. It's so much fun. You feel free. You're flying around. It feels amazing, which is why we do it every weekend.
Yeah, we're saying you used to worry about crashing, or you crash more and you don't worry about it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because these things can take a hammering as well.
Yeah.
Kent West, how goes it? I'm a new father like you. Do you feel that having a little one has changed your outlook on FPV and the meaningfulness of the content on your channel at all?
Well, Trevor, I'm supposed to answer that.
I don't know. If you, I guess I'll just answer this one because I don't think you have any new little newborns, Trev.
I'll have a drink.
Radio. For me, I think I'm gonna have a drink. It's hot. For me, definitely, like having a little daughter. It's making content on the show. It's just made me even more driven to sort of show her that you can chase your dreams, you can do what you want to do, find something that you're passionate about, and just work around that, because I absolutely love this stuff. I love sharing it with you guys, and that sort of, you know, that inspiration, I want to pass on that to her. So whatever her passion is, I find I want her to chase that and work with that and find what she loves, because I've never felt like I feel about FPV and drones and just having fun with your mates, and there's nothing like when you're flying around, and I want to share, I want her to be as passionate about something that she loves as I am about drones. I think that's probably the lesson. That's what I've learned from UAVfutures that I want to teach her. I don't know how you were going to answer that one anyway, Trev. I should have picked a better one for you. Okay, maybe you can do this one. Oh, bloody hell. Alrighty, so what's just happened, Trevor?
We actually just finished the Q&A, which is really good.
Yep.
And we've actually even picked out who actually won it. We're not going to tell you till the end of it, so have to wait till the end.
Yep.
We did it. It was really good, really funny. So this bit's probably going to be really boring because the battery went flat. So we're going back because someone forgot to put a fresh battery in there. Okay,
alright, so moving on. So yeah, we're re-recording this because...
A2.
Yeah, so this one's from Matt Kelly. Raceflight, Betaflight, Clean Flight, or NAV, and why?
That was, which one was that?
So this one's about like what firmware to use. Raceflight, Betaflight, Clean Flight, or some of the others.
What did we answer that before?
No.
Oh, the battery went flat.
Yes.
That's right. Just thought I'd remind you.
Yeah.
Look, we started off with, what was that one?
Base? No, what's before Open Pilot.
Open Pilot, yeah, that was a real pain in the ass to configure.
Yep.
You had to change everything before it'd fly, if you could get it to fly.
I'm just finding my cup of tea. You keep talking.
And then we had... base flight, which was really innovative, really nice. Yeah, there were different controllers in too.
Yep.
Then Clean Flight was breath of fresh air. That was really, really good. And then Betaflight, which we're still using today. I think most of us. The community is so big in that, which is really great. Love the way it works. The community is really behind that, and I think the other one's Raceflight, which
you tried last week, and
look, that flew okay. There's no reason for me to change. I really like what we've got with Betaflight at the moment.
Could you feel any difference between Raceflight and Betaflight when you're flying the quad?
Not really. It was smooth, I must admit. Actually, it could have been anything. To me, it wouldn't have mattered because it was still smooth to fly. So
yeah, I definitely, I feel exactly the same with Trev. I started with all those other first ones, with Open Pilot, then Base Flight, moving into Clean Flight. For me, I'm all about Betaflight. I really like it. I love the community that is behind Betaflight. I really like how it's open source. It's got so many ideas and it's so open and transparent with the community. But in saying that, look, I did try Raceflight out the other weekend and I really liked their wizard. It was super easy to set up, but I know that's a little bit more closed source, and for me, I'm all about Betaflight. That doesn't mean Raceflight didn't fly well. It flew beautiful and it flew about the same as Betaflight. So look, I really couldn't tell the difference too much, but I'm a massive fan of Betaflight. Alrighty, so this one's from Falcon73. What's the most enjoyable moment you've had in this hobby? Meeting someone, flying somewhere, getting someone into the hobby, etc.
I've got that feeling of deja vu again.
Yes, you've done this, Trevor. All right. So, what's your most enjoyable moment? And Trevor's not going to let me live this down. That I forgot to charge the battery in the camera.
Did the battery go flat?
Yeah.
My very first flight was my very first FPV flight was probably my most enjoyable moment because that's changed everything. Before that, we're just flying line of sight. It was pretty boring. You just go, yeah, back forward, yeah, I can do that, big deal. FPV just opened up a whole new world. I was out at a mate's place. We flew down this big paddock out to a car and did circles around the car, looked in the windows of the car, and everyone's gobsmacked back at where we were because we had a monitor set up they could watch or see what I could see. Before that, they were saying, oh, you're mad, wasting all this money on glasses and all this sort of stuff. 2 weeks later, everybody had their own FPV setup, so it went crazy from there. So yeah, that's my most memorable moment at the moment.
Hooked ever since?
Oh, I love it, yeah. Still doing it, and that was years ago.
For me, my most enjoyable moment was just the other week, actually. We were flying around, and we're flying around the Norris V2. That was one of the most fun reviews I've ever done, and I felt like it just captured what we're all about. Flying around with your mates, having fun with quads, and we slammed that thing into the ground a few times. Crash Test Cow was out there.
What's this week?
Okay, I slammed it into the ground a few times. Crash Test Cow was out there behind the speed gun, and it was just so much fun. And I felt like and we had some fantastic weather as well, so the rain had gone away. It was great to get out. I went through a heap of batteries and I had an absolute blast. So for me, flying around with Grumpy Trev and Crash Test Cal just the other week was probably one of the highlights, the most enjoyable days I've had. So I really, really liked it. I love it every time I get out, but that was a really special day for me. It was a lot of fun. And it was at a cool new spot as well. Alrighty, so this one's from William Lees. So this is for people who are getting interested in racing, but after a while they find they aren't progressing as well as they'd like. Or they see how top level racing is and they think they'll never be able to reach that level and they become disheartened or have less interest in the hobby. What would you say to them? You want me to go? You go.
Oh, you go.
Alright, I would say, William, I would say go and watch this video right here. I started off just like you guys. Look, I'm not saying I'm an amazing pilot or anything like that, but I started off just as slow as everybody else, as shaky, maybe even slower. Go and watch this video because that's like my 2 or 3 years of progression, all my flights put together, and you'll be able to see I started off just like you, and the only difference is all those guys that you're looking up to, you're watching on YouTube, or you're seeing at the races, they live and breathe this stuff. If you ask them how many batteries or how much stick time they have, it will be a ton. So it's always about pushing yourself, and I think it really does come down to stick time. You will get there. Go and watch that video because you'll see I was as slow as grumpy old Trev back in the day. What about you?
Most of those guys fly every day.
Yeah. So, what would you say, Trev? If someone's getting disheartened and think, oh, I'll never get there, I'm never going to be like those guys.
Practice with somebody that's faster than you and you'll get faster. You might not catch them because they'll get faster as well. Like, I'm chasing Stu all the time, but I know I'm probably as fast as what Stu was last year. It's the only way you get faster. If you practice with someone slower, you're not going to get any faster.
So how am I getting faster? Because you're a lot slower.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, you're just a maniac. You're just a freak. So
okay.
When we go out with Stu and we put the goggles on and watch him, we think we're going fast actually until we actually put the goggles on and watch him fly. He is a maniac.
I think definitely what you're saying, like when I flew with Thomas from BMS Web, he was faster. That really motivated me to push myself even faster.
Yeah, it did push it because I was there that day, and
that was great. That was a really good day.
It was
Shout out to Thomas from BMS Web because he just won the International Open for Multi GP. So massive shout out to that little dude. So well congratulations, Thomas. Sorry, Trevor, I kind of hijacked that question.
But that was it was good. But that's right. I mean, just practice with someone that's faster.
What about if you're feeling disheartened?
Oh, keep it up. Look at us. Look how happy we are.
Yeah, and it's not always about being the fastest or anything like that too. It's just about having fun.
Yeah.
I think, and that's the #1 thing we do every time we go. I know I have an absolute blast. And you hate it. You don't love flying at all, Trevor.
No, I'm going to give it away 20 years or so. But, you know, practice some freestyle if you don't want to do something else. It's a lot of fun.
This one's from Joshua Gibson. Stu, if you only had one choice of propellers to always use, what would it be? Trevor?
The Dell Cyclones, the tri-blades, love them. They're durable. They don't, or they do bend. They break every now and then, but just bend them back in position and just keep going. And they do what I want to do. And I've tried others, and these ones just have what I need. So that's what I like. I don't know about Stu.
Yeah, well, I bet you do know. What am I going to say? Well, actually, we've done this before, so you know exactly what I'm going to say. But
this is take 2.
Yeah.
Battery went flat.
Stop. Don't remind me anymore. So my favourite props are the Dell Cyclones. And look, I'm not sponsored to talk about these any way, shape or form. But Dell Cyclones to me, they're my favourite prop. I use them all the time. They do exactly what I like. And they're really, really durable as well. So they hold up great in a crash. They feel great in the air. They may not be the fastest prop in a straight line because I'm talking about the tri-blade, but for me, they're my proper choice. I really, really like them. And like Trevor said, you can just bend them back into shape and they're good enough to keep flying with. They're not perfect. You know, and I always think there's room for improvement, and a fresh set of props feels better than one that you've crashed with, but it feels good enough that you can still keep ripping around and crashing it a few more times until they're really, really totaled and you need to change them. I'm a massive fan of the Dell Cyclones. I'll leave a link down below too if you want to go check those out. Trevor, so we're going to ask you first, this one is from Owen Knight. What is your favourite sandwich filling?
Bit of butter, sauce. And Kevin in between.
Okay, this one's a bit of a joke between Crash Test Cal and I and Grumpy Trev because Trevor loves like a Devon and sauce sandwich. I don't know how you eat it. It's like what a kid eats. It's like this processed meat, like hot dog meat with a bit of sauce on bread.
That's how I stay looking so young.
Absolutely disgusting. For me, I would say my favourite sandwich filling, get a bit of roast beef, nice bit of bread, some pickles, some mustard. That's where it's at, not your Devon sandwich.
You know why I eat it?
That's disgusting.
You know why I eat it?
No.
Someone told him to make my hair grow.
So this one's from Caney83. Question from my wife: do maps in Australia have south at the top?
Only if you turn the map upside down.
There you go. Alrighty, let's keep moving on. This one's from Omar Velcles. I hope that's how I say your name. Well, would you ever do a collab with Rotor Riot or Flight Test? Would you ever go work for Rotor Riot? I know they're looking for a pilot. You know, Steele's left. Would you join that extra place in Rotor Riot?
Well, look, as much as I love to, how could you leave the UAVfutures?
That's right.
You know, you couldn't do it.
We're like family, right, Trevor?
We are family.
Yeah, he has to say that.
Yeah.
Would you ever do some collabs though with Rotor Riot?
That would be I'd love to do that. I mean,
and Flight Test.
They've got an Aussie with him already, so they've already got some talent there. So
who's that? Chad. Oh, Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chad. Massive shout out to
couple more Aussies. They'd be overrun. They wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah. The influx in subscribers would be too much. I think if they had some more Australians on there.
Yeah.
Just too much talent.
And they wouldn't be able to understand us.
For me, yeah, I would love to do some collabs. You know, with Rotor Riot. That would be fantastic. Ladrib, Steele. I know Steele's not in Rotor Riot. I'd love to do some stuff with him in the future. Joshua Bardwell. Bruce from RC Model Reviews, and of course Flight Test, because I think there's so many cool communities out, so many cool creators in our community on YouTube making some really cool stuff. So we're definitely down with doing some collabs in the future, maybe like some road trips or something like that.
You'd love to meet up with Bruce, somebody my age.
Alrighty, so Absolute FPV. So this one's good morning and good day. Well, thank you for your good manners there, good sir. My question: how many questions do you usually get? Do you actually read them all, or pick the few you feel you can get to? You know what, I'm going to flash this picture on the screen somewhere, you know, while we're talking. And, you know, the last video had over 1,000 comments on there. And I read every single one of those. So I scroll through them. It took about 2 hours to go out, pick out the best question. And I'm going to say, look, if you've got some questions, definitely drop them down below. But if I don't read yours out, it's not because your question wasn't good or anything like that. It's just literally there's only so many times in the day, there's only so many batteries that I can forget to charge. And by the time I go through them all, I can only pick out the best ones that I think think are going to help the community most, or, you know, going to have a bit of a laugh with. So I do read every single question, but if I don't read yours out, please don't get offended, because look, there's over 1,000 comments on there, but I definitely do read every single one.
I do have a question.
Yeah?
Did you put a new battery in the camera?
Yes, I did. So this one's from Rapperstel. What's one piece of gear on or off your quads that has really blown your mind in FPV flying? Whether it's something that was so much better than the alternatives or something new. What is it, Trev, that's blown your mind when it's, you know, with any of this stuff? What do you really like or work with?
The OSD display on the quads now. I know we've had them for a while. They've just come of age now. They're just built in there and make it so much easier. We used to have to stuff around with minimum OSD stuff and configure it. It was a real pain in the arse unless you knew what you're doing. It was a lot of hassle to set up. Now it's so easy through Betaflight. Don't want this on, just click, 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 save. You got what you want on or off. It's
so you're talking about the Betaflight OSD?
Yeah. The OSD is just, I love it.
It saves your batteries and stuff.
Yeah, it saves you everything. You know, your flight time, you know when you should be landing. You're not going to destroy batteries. Well, you shouldn't. That's the thing I really like.
Yeah, I would say for me, I love the RunCam split. That was absolutely, like, you know, I know that technology has been around, recording while you're flying around, but I just love how they incorporated the FPV camera, and RunCam did it really well. I think RunCam's a great company. They make some really high quality FPV gear, and I think that's just the start of it. I can't wait to see in the future what they do. Maybe, like, imagine just a HS1177 with a little, like, extra bit on the back that you slide your SD card in and you're ready to rock and roll. That would be so cool, that if you just put an SD card in behind your camera, no matter what quad you have, and then you're ready to film. I think that's definitely a step in the right direction. Alrighty, so this one's from Matt Jones. Hi Stu, have you ever considered making a frame, or at least working with a manufacturer like Armaton or another reputable source to design a quad that fits your dreams? Trev, you ever thought about designing stuff?
Yeah, look, I'd love to do that, but having the infrastructure to do it is the biggest problem. So that's something probably in the future definitely would look at.
You'd like to do some stuff?
I'd love to do a frame, yeah.
I definitely think, you know, it'd be a little bit weird for me to design my own frame as well as do reviews, so I definitely couldn't review it. I would definitely like, if I found something out there that, you know, I would love to make like a dream track flyer or something that works just for me, and if I was going to partner up with someone, well, I would have to partner up with someone, it would be a company like Armaton, because in my opinion, you know, that's why it's no accident that the Chameleon's so popular. Armaton, a massive shout out to them, because they make some of the best quads out there, and also they're a really good company that I know. It's got some really cool people behind it that really care about the hobby. So yeah, I'm definitely down for designing some stuff in the future. It's just, I guess we just have to wait and see what happens, and, you know, see what's happening in the future of UAVfutures.
Look out for it.
No, don't start rumours. We're not. There is no plans at this stage. There's nothing. You know, get out, Trevor. The comments are going to light up. We are not designing frames.
That'd be funny.
This one's from Corma Lewis. With the advances in technology, what do you look forward to when it comes to FPV quadcopters? Trev, what do you want?
I want to have digital FPV. I know we've got it already, but miniaturised, so it's nice and small. Everyone can have it. We can have 10 people flying at once. No interference. I would love to see that. I know it's probably a little way away, but we've got everything else we need. We need it so it's small enough to fit in even our smallest, even the micro quads we're flying now. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be a dream. And with a good antenna too, because the other ones are rubbish.
Yeah.
I think they're so big. For me, I would like... There's two things actually that I would be super excited about, but I don't think are going to happen for a long time soon. The one that's probably closest is like some augmented reality, so you could pull your goggles down and you could automatically have some gates that are set up on your computer that track to your FPV feed, and you can fly around those. I think that would be really fantastic. And then the other one that I would absolutely love, but look, this one's a long way away, I would love some better battery tech, but who knows? You hear a lot of stuff about better batteries, but LiPos have been around for a long time, and it's hard to get that energy density and some other things that are really pumping out with so much power. So look, I would love some new batteries.
A really long life battery in the camera.
Yeah, get out! But yeah, I don't think that's going to be coming anytime soon. We better move on. So, Flightless Wonder. Hi Stu, my question is, how do you keep your passion for your hobby going? What is it that continually excites you and drives you to make new, interesting content every week? For me, it's just about getting out, flying. I love sharing it with you guys. I'm going out every weekend to fly with my mates anyway, because I live for those flying days. It's absolutely amazing getting out there with your mates, feeling free, flying around. There's nothing quite like it. And I want to bring you guys along with it too. I want you people to sort of experience that. So that's what motivates me to get out there and keep pushing. What about you, Trev? What motivates you to get out of the house?
My wife.
Okay. Yeah.
No, look. Getting out flying, I live for the weekends. I only wish that I'd rather work on the weekends than just fly all week. Can't do it at the moment, but look, getting out and flying is just, really do love it. And getting out with the boys, it's a lot of fun, and You probably see some of the videos we do out there. We have a lot of fun when we go out, and that's what you see in the videos is what it's like. We do have a lot of fun. We get to fly all this new great stuff, crash it every now and then. Well, Stu crashes it, I know.
You crashed it.
It's really, really good fun, and yeah, just the innovation, it just keeps happening, so love it.
Some pretty cool stuff coming out. It's pretty exciting, pretty cool new technology that's out there. Coming all the time. Alrighty, so Aaron Carr, Stu, great job on the channel, always very entertaining and informative. Can you please explain the difference between PPM, IBUS and SBUS?
Right, it's just how they communicate to each other, your receiver to your flight controller. PWM is slower than PPM, is that right?
No, PPM and PWM are the same speed, but they're the wires.
They're older,
Yeah, don't use those if you can.
So SBUS talks really fast, so does IBUS. And they just talk different languages, and they're really the best. That's what we use at the moment. And
if Trevor uses SBUS because he uses FreeSky, I use IBUS because I use Eternergy Evolution. But like Trevor's saying, I'm going to sum up his convoluted answer. It's pretty much just the language that your receiver is going to talk to your flight controller in. So you just match them up, and that's how they talk to each other. Use SBUS or IBUS. Don't use some of the other ones like PPM or PWM because they're a little bit slower. They introduce a little bit more latency when you're flying around, and latency, every little bit counts.
Sure, my answer was shorter.
Alright, actually that was actually the last question, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Definitely subscribe for more FPV related content. Massive shout out to Grumpy Trev, go enjoy in his channel, I'll leave a link to that up here and also in the description down below. And a huge shout out to Banggood for, you know, providing the prize for this week's giveaway. So we're giving away, I'm just going to recap, we have a Wizard X220, we're upgrading it with a Runcam Swift 2, which is fantastic. So that's also got an OSD in there. We've got a radio, like the FSI-6 I think. I'll link everything down below as well, and also a backpack. So they're really cool. They let me sort of pick the prize and what I wanted to give away, so it's a pretty special prize I think. I think someone out there is going to be pretty excited to get it. And also definitely go and check out their anniversaries page because they've got a whole bunch of sales and a whole bunch of things that are at pretty good prices. Anyway, Trevor, who do you think should win the prize? Who do you want to give that away to?
Did I put an answer in this?
No, you were not reading your question out. Trevor wants to win that. He thinks we should give it to him. Who do you want to give it to?
The guy that was having tunnel vision.
Hepley, g'day folks, I'm really new at this, blah 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 blah. I'm having trouble getting used to being in the goggles and I'm feeling nervous. Any suggestions?
Yeah, you're going to have to get used to it now.
Alright, so
you're a winner.
Congratulations to Helpyply 2007. Definitely check your inbox or your spam box or something like that on YouTube because I'm going to be in contact with you and then you can email me. We can forward that on to Banggood. And I'm going to say, you know, they'll pay for shipping and cover everything. And if you don't happen to live in a place where they're going to ship it to, little disclaimer, then you're just going to have to pick an address, find somewhere where you can ship it, and then they'll ship it to you. But congratulations, because yeah, you get all that really cool stuff. For everybody else, make sure you drop some comments down below for next episode so you can go on the chance to win something. Subscribe for more FPV related content. And
happy flying!
No, and as always...
Oh, happy flying.
Anyway, alright, happy flying.